everyone. Welcome to Ops on Cloud. In this specific video, let's try to discuss an interview question. So, how do you implement ephemeral runner pools in CI systems like GitHub Actions, Jenkins, or on Kubernetes? Okay. So this is an interview question which is rarely asked, but this will be asked for senior persons. I mean, like if somebody is applying for positions which is more than 7 years, right? In such kind of scenarios, you can expect this kind of question. Okay, it's very hard to implement, I would say, and very hard to maintain as well in large scale systems. But um, we have very good benefits of implementing such kind of setup. All right, so let's try to start answering it. What would be the short answer is the first part, and the lengthier in detailed answer will be the second part. What is the short answer? So basically we need to use a controller or an operator that will spin up the new runner pods per job. Okay, and once this specific job will be completed, right, the pods will automatically get terminated. So because of this, we can make sure that each pod or each jobs is isolated based on its environment variable, and we will not have any leftover process which will be running. That is a benefit. Okay, this is the start answer you will give if you are attending like 30 minutes interview or something. Okay, and also after ask a question back to the interviewer stating that do you want me to answer in detail, so that if it is yes, they will say yes. If they are happy with this, you can continue with the next question. Okay, so what is the in detail answer? So basically, before going diving into the in detail answer, let's try to understand some basic concepts. So what is ephemeral runner? Okay, so basically ephemeral runners means it's like a temporary worker machine, in our case the Kubernetes pods, that exist only for the duration of a single job or a task. Once the job is finished, the pod is also destroyed. Okay, the word ephemeral itself means temporary. Okay, each build job will have its own container. For example, if there is a job which is running in your Jenkins or GitHub Actions workflows, right? So it will have its own container. And because of this, right, we can make sure that there is no clash or there is no leftover process which is running. So for people who are working in Jenkins environment, especially when you are running your Jenkins on worker nodes, right? So which is running on a single virtual machines, when you work with Java based applications and all, you might have noticed sometimes, right, there is always one or the other job which is still running, and because of that you might notice CPU exhaustion, all these things. Not only this, because of using this ephemeral runner pools, right, one more benefit is scalability. Since we are segregating these things per job, right, we can scale in and scale out based on the number of job. Okay, and because of this, since the scale in and scale out is happening based on the number of jobs, so you are also saving the cost as well. So let's discuss about the process now. So basically you have a new CI job which is coming in. Okay, and this might come into your GitHub Actions or Jenkins. Okay, so basically we have a controller or an operator. So this means that I mean, like it's like a small application which is running inside the Kubernetes, and it will watch for all the CI jobs in the system. All right, when a job is detected, the controller, whatever is there, right, it will automatically create a pod, and this pod will have all the components, or sorry, all the dependencies or necessities that is needed by the job to do specific actions. And these actions might be building your application, running unit test case, integration test case, or whatever it is. Okay, and once the job will run inside the container, right, once it has done all the activities, so basically the next step is the pod should terminate. The pod will terminate either if it is success or like if it has failed. once the job, I mean, like if the job is successful or it has failed, right, the pods will get terminated automatically by the controller. So basically, controller will keep on watching your jobs, okay, and he will do the termination part. All right, and this process whatever is there, right, it will keep repeating for the new jobs. So if there is one more job which has been triggered in the CI system based on pull request or push events or anything, so the same process whatever we discussed, right, it keeps repeating again and again. Okay, so let's try to take an example and finish it off. So we can take an example of GitHub Actions plus Kubernetes and Jenkins on Kubernetes. All right. So in GitHub Actions, what you do, you push your code to GitHub. And as I already mentioned earlier, GitHub Actions workflows will trigger. And the workflows, whatever is there, right, they will basically notify the Kubernetes operator. And the and the operators, whatever we use, for example, it might be action runner controller. That will basically launch a new pod. And then inside that pod, we might run the building part, the testing part of our application, whatever is there. And once the build and test activities are completed, the workflow is completed, and because of that, the controller, what we will do is it will simply delete or terminate the pod. So because of this, there is no leftover per process which is running, and you are actually saving the cost, everything as I discussed earlier. Similar approach is for Kubernetes Jenkins as well. So in Jenkins also what happens, you will commit your code to a repository and you would have already configured webhooks, everything. Once that new pipeline get triggered, you will have Jenkins plugin or custom operators which will create a new pod for you inside Kubernetes for that specific job. And again, that job whatever has been created, it will run inside the pod. It might run unit test cases, integration test cases, static code analysis, everything. Once it is done, the pod will automatically shut down, and the same process repeats again and again for new jobs. So this is how this setup works. So let's try to quickly discuss the benefits of this setup. So basically, such kind of setup for a large scale system helps us to have better security because we are actually isolating each jobs and its respective environment variable. And since each job has its own pod, so which means you can scale in and scale out based on the demand. So because of this, you have very efficient scaling capabilities, and you are also saving cost here. Okay, so these are some of the benefits. So overall, right, ephemeral runner pools on Kubernetes means that each CI jobs gets its own on-demand pod, and this setup will definitely offer a good security, cost saving, and convenience also. But the challenge here is the management part. Since you will have to manage all the Kubernetes pods, also the manifest, everything, the design. So these are like a overhead, but definitely you have lot of benefits in return. So therefore, the reward is also good. So therefore, we try to implement such kind of setup. Okay, so this is how you are supposed to answer for this question in an interview. Okay, just try to understand the interviewer mindset as well, especially if you are attending on-site interviews, right? I would highly recommend to explain in detail like how I explained. This gives them more confidence, and also like even for you, you will be explaining your experience in detail to the panel. Okay, so I would say that is a good thing to do in an interview. All right, that's it for now. Uh, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It definitely motivates us to make more such content so that you can prepare yourself.